Hello everyone, it's Khaled. Welcome to today's daily pitch, 2nd of March 2026. Let's dive into the latest economic events, technicals, and see what's moving the markets. Well, let's have a look first at the economic calendar, and then we will see what is going on with the dollar index, with oil, and with gold as well. Okay, guys, so looking at the economic calendar for today, let's move on to today. I believe we don't have too much important economic data. What is currently holding more weight in the markets, of course, is the geopolitical tensions taking place in the Middle East. We will see how this is affecting several asset classes. And as for the economic data, we have the S&P manufacturing PMI and the ISM manufacturing PMI as well. Both are expected to be lower than expected, but both of them as well are still above the 50 grade point. And as we know, the 50 grade point is the line or the number between the expansion and contraction of the economy. That's it with regards to the economic data that we have today, pre-planned economic data. Let's move on to the charts. Well, first looking at the dollar index, we can see that the dollar index is bouncing up a little bit. This is mainly due to the geopolitical tensions taking place and the investors moving to the dollar as a safe haven. At the same time, we can see that the treasury yields are dropping. Why? Because investors as well go to the bonds, they buy US treasury, US bonds, and we have an inverse correlation between the bond price and the yields. So whenever investors are buying bonds, prices are going up and the yields here are going down. And finally, looking at the VIX, the volatility index or the fear index, a spike up, which was expected and normal with all the tensions taking place in the Middle East right now. Let's go on to gold and see what is happening. This was our analysis last week. We had several areas of interest. We were here, we said that we could go lower to the 5,100. If we fail to break, we could be moving higher. And actually, we can see that price was tapping the 5,100, breaking higher, closing here. And during the weekend, since we had these tensions, we had a gap up on gold. My next area of interest I will be looking at on gold is here around the 5,440, 450, but I will be zooming to the lower time frame to see what we can take advantage of with the volume and volatility we are having. So I'm going to delete this. Let's zoom into let's start with the 30 minutes, see what is happening with the price action. And we can even move to the 5 minutes as well. Usually whenever, especially on gold, whenever we have such a volume and a high price movement, you can zoom into the lower time frame. Keep in mind that zooming into the lower time frame should be at certain areas of interest and not just watching the market noise, because you will end up over trading and losing a lot of trades. So zooming into the lower time frame at the 5 minutes on gold, let me put this. Okay, so for gold on the 5 minutes, I have several areas of interest. Number one, as I mentioned, I have here the 5,450, which was at this level. In case I see the price action moving up, I'm drawing here, this one. In case I see the price action doing something like this, I will watch out for the rejection that could take place here. It is very important. I'm not saying that the overall trend will change. In general, even before the geopolitical tensions, gold was bullish. All the fundamentals were supporting gold bulls, but take care. Of course, the geopolitical tensions are adding to this, but take care from some profit-taking move. Maybe we can see something like this. We could retest these lows here at the 5,300, which is the low of the gap, sorry, the gap price. And in case we reject once again, just 1 second. Okay, and in case we reject once again here, I will be looking for the following price action. Scenario number 2, in case we are able to close below the 5,300. In other words, closing the gap. In case we are able to closing the gap, I will be looking at the 5,250 approximate. This level, in case we see that the price action is retesting once again the 5,250 and failing to break lower, I will be looking for the following price movement like this. So these are the scenarios. Some people want to be trading gold on the lower time frame, even on the 1 minute, seeing a break here. This is possible, but as you can see that the price action on gold is a little bit volatile, a little bit messy. The overall price action, like you can see here, you printed a high, retested the same entry, printed a little bit higher. So that's what I prefer to see. I will monitor here the 5,450. In case I see rejection, I will monitor my next area here. Or in case we broke lower, my next area I will be looking at is the 250. The next scenario, what if the bullish momentum, especially with the NYSE, continued? Here, let's zoom out a little bit to the 30-minute time frame. As you can see, this area where I will be looking for a reaction. In case the bullish momentum is continuing and we are able to break higher, if we have strong bullish candles closing above the 450 or the 60, I will be looking for the following price action. And my next area of interest will be the all-time highs at around the 5,580 to 90 approximate. You will never know where the exact reaction will take place. So reaching this area, let's do it like this. So reaching this area, watch out for some profit-taking move. With the current price action and the market gap up, I'm not expecting to see a straight gold move up and printing a new all-time high. I could expect to see, as I told you, either rejection here, or in case we broke higher, we could react at the all-time high, dig a little bit deeper, and then move higher in case we want to print a new all-time high. So what I'm trying to tell you is, although the fundamentals and the geopolitical tensions are supporting gold bulls, but don't just jump in at any price level and take buys, because with the volatility, your stop loss could get hit. That's it for gold. Of course, the final area of interest, which I would like to see, is this one at the 5,100. Again, I'm not sure if we are going to test it, if we are going to break below this level, but in case we retested this level, I will look for something like this. What I believe is more possible is this level, the 5,300. That's it for me on gold. 1, 2, 3. Let's stay with these three prices, and then we will see how the price action will show us. Let's move on to oil right now and have a look of what's going on. Of course, with the geopolitical tensions, oil as well is moving up. Let's clean a little bit. Okay, zooming out, and you see how price is reacting. This is a very important area of interest at the 80 level. As you can see here, at the 80 we had a reaction. Zooming out a little bit even, you can see that whenever price reached this level, it had a very strong reaction. And currently with the geopolitical tensions and the gap up, we had a gap up from 73 up to 76. Let's zoom in to see which one. No, we had 73 up to 78, around $5 gap on oil. So what is happening with oil? What are the areas of interest I will be looking at? The first area of interest I will be looking at is here. In case we are able to close and break above the 80, my next area I will be looking at, and here we should zoom out a little bit. My next area we will be looking at is the 82.5. This is the area number 2. So in case breaking higher, retesting, I will be looking at the 82.5. But in case we fail to break above the 80, if we retest it again and fail to break above the 80, I will be looking for this price at the 76. Reaching the 76, in case we see any rejection taking place, candles failing to break lower, or like similar to this price action, you can see that we had a strong bearish movement, candles rejecting with wicks, and we just started to move up. So in case I see the following price action at this level, I could be taking advantage of this price range, and keep in mind that it is a very good price range between the 76.5 and the 80, so you could take advantage. The last scenario, in case we broke lower, breaking below the 75, and here it gets tricky that how much we will be closing from the gap. But breaking below the 75 with a strong bearish momentum, I believe that the 73.5 should be our next target and the next area of interest where we should be watching and monitoring the price action. In case we are reaching this level, let's say we broke lower, retested, and did something like this. Let's fix this one. So guys, we're going to keep it very simple. Exactly, we have the command difficult times to get in trading by technical perspective. Everything is changing, even trading. Yes, right now the fundamentals are moving the markets, but of course your entries should be based on technicals. That's why I just said it on gold, that yes, gold is bullish. We are all the fundamentals are supporting gold bulls, but it's not that you just enter a buy from here. Wait for a pullback, wait for important areas of interest. As you can see, now we are on the 15-minute time frame. This is a very important area we reacted. Here we have a very important area, and here as well the 5,450. That's why combining both the technical and fundamental will give you the edge in the market. I was talking about oil. I was saying here that these are the areas of interest I will be looking on for oil. First, a retest of the 76, or in case bullish momentum and closing above the 80, my next area will be the 82.5. And the final scenario, in case we broke below the gap low from below the 76, I won't be touching oil until we reach the 73.5. So guys, in general, that's it for today. I just want to give you some trade ideas specifically on gold and oil because we are seeing so much movement. Trade safe, strong volume and volatility. Let's see what will NYSE bring to us, and take care. Thank you so much for joining, and we will see you soon.